Greetings my fellow freaks and weirdos, I'm Tom and welcome to Monster Gab, where we love to talk about classic and vintage horror, and in today's episode we're going to be talking about The Woman in Black from 1989. Not to be mistaken by the 2012 movie starring Daniel Radcliffe, though I do like that version of the story too. In this episode we are focusing on the 1989 TV adaptation based on the best-selling novel by Susan Hill. Directed by Herbert Wise and starring Adrian Rawlins, this classic ghost story, specially produced for British television, has been a favourite amongst fans since its release. So here is the synopsis then. It's 1925. Eel Marsh House stands alone in the misty marshlands of a coastal town. With no road, no path, simply just a causeway which gets flooded by the daily tide, isolating the house from the mainland and preventing anyone from coming or going during these times. Here lived a recluse old widow, Mrs. Alice Drablow, who had no friends or family and has just passed away. A young solicitor from London, Arthur Kidd, played by Adrian Rawlins, has been sent to deal with Mrs. Drablow's affairs and documents, attend her funeral and put her house up for sale. During his visit, he sees visions of a woman in black. He also learns that many of the town's children have been dying over recent years, and the townsfolk are acting suspicious, hinting ambiguous warnings. It's almost as if they're frightened of something. Let's talk about this movie then, and I suppose yes, it is still kind of a movie, but I think it is important to address that this is indeed an adaptation made especially for British television. ITV to be precise. Of course we still get movies made for TV today, or made to be released directly to streaming services, but often the quality is so high that sometimes they could easily pass as a cinematic release. Even shows with multiple series and seasons are made with such high budgets these days that they too have a quality of cinema to them, and they could pass as movies. But that wasn't the case in 1989 when this particular film was released. Back then, films and shows could still be good, with a good level of quality to them too, but had nowhere near the same kind of budget and kind of lackluster compared to movies of the time. Yet, The Woman in Black actually looks pretty good, not only just for its time, but it holds up well today. Okay, it doesn't have that cinematic look to it, but with a good use of filming locations, set designs, camera work, the directing is done very well and it looks really, really good. I mean, it feels like 1925 to me when I'm watching it. For a ghost story, our ghost in this particular adaptation doesn't have a lot of screen time. Yes, there is a woman in black, and whenever Arthur Kidd sees her, so do we, the audience. But most of her appearances take place in the first half of the film, apart from a couple of scenes, one particular one considered quite terrifying in its time. If you've seen it, you know which part I'm talking about. So rather than a visual ghostly presence, this film relies on its atmosphere, especially the atmosphere within the house. I'd go as far as saying that it's actually the house that makes this film scary, if anything. It's big, desolate, isolated, surrounded by water and mist, temporarily trapping Arthur, and sounds or voices can be heard from both within the house and just outside upon the marshlands. One particular sound of a horse and cart getting stuck, followed by a wailing woman and a screaming child, reoccurs often. But physical things happen too, like swinging light features and a locked door opening itself ajar. The house has electronic lights powered by a generator, and considering this story is based in 1925, that would have been quite a luxury for its time. Now, bear in mind that it's quite a big house with lots of room and many light fixtures. One of my favourite scenes is when Arthur gets spooked and he runs straight back into the house and switches on every single light in every single room too. He's like, nope, I didn't sign up for this, nope. And as for the story, I have to say I love the story, so much so that I want to read the book. I can't believe that I haven't read it yet, actually. I do need to read the book. In fact, after I finish filming here, I'm going to order it off Amazon. But yes, I absolutely love the story. Though I read somewhere that some alterations were made to the story and the original author, Susan Hill, was not happy with these changes. If anything, this just gives me more incentive to read the book, just to see what the differences are. Personally, I have no complaints with how the story is told in this particular adaptation, and I think the story is told very, very well. At no point did I get bored, I was just engrossed the whole time. The acting is fine, as is the music, but nothing about these factors really stood out enough for me to really want to talk about them. But I don't have anything bad to say either. The acting and the music is, like I said, it's fine. Let's talk about the pros and the cons of this film then, and the biggest pro for me is the use of filming locations and environments, real towns and buildings. If these features were filmed in a recording studio, for instance, I don't think the film would have aged as well as it has done. It's still very watchable. Another pro for me, like I said, I love the story, but I just love how well it flows from start to finish. At no point did I find this story boring, and that's with very limited sightings of an actual ghost on screen. Though we do see a ghost, like I said, mostly at the beginning of the film, it kind of relies on its own atmosphere and storytelling. And one final pro for me, and I'm going to contradict myself here because earlier I said there wasn't much to say about the music, but one final pro for me is actually the music and the fact that it's very relevant. The music in some parts consists of a musical toy box that you would have found in a children's playroom, especially during its time. I won't say much more than that because I don't want to give too much away, but let's just say it's very relevant to the theme. As for the cons of this film, I don't really have any. Like I said, the story is told really well and the film holds up well for its age too. If I was to have any cons at all, it would be the woman in black herself, or the ghost if you like. She just appears a bit too physical for my liking. Now, I don't mean I'd preferred her to be transparent or see-through or anything like that, but there are a few scenes where she is quite up close to the camera and she's just kind of humanized a little too much during these scenes. I've no doubt back in the day this idea was to make her very physical and frightening for the audience because she's right up close to the screen, but I prefer the shots where she's in the distance. Those shots just make her look a bit more mysterious and ghostly. But it's not a major complaint. As for rating it out of 10, I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10. I really did enjoy this particular adaptation, and I don't want to compare it to the movie released in 2012 starring Daniel Radcliffe, because I also like that too. As far as I'm concerned, they're both equally as entertaining, and I like both adaptations for what they are. But if you guys have a favourite, good for you, and please do let me know in the comment section. Now, I do have the DVD here, which is also available on Blu-ray. I'm not going to go into the whole reason why I buy DVDs over Blu-rays again, but I have the DVD here. Like I said, it is available on Blu-ray, and it's beautifully restored. And there is 2 versions of the film here too. There's the version in its original aspect ratio when it was released back in 1989, on Christmas Eve I might add, but there's also a widescreen adaptation too, which I would say in this day and age is just the right way to watch this film. But it looks absolutely beautiful. Like I said, it's available both on DVD and Blu-ray. You should definitely grab a copy. So guys, have you seen The Woman in Black from 1989? And if you have, what did you make of it? Please do let me know in the comment section. And if you haven't seen it, are you willing to watch it now you've seen this review? Once again, please do let me know down there. And do you compare it with the movie from 2012, and what are your thoughts? Do you prefer one over the other? Do you prefer the book? Is the book worth buying? I'm going to buy it anyway, but please do let me know, and let me know how it compares. And have you seen any other adaptation? I've actually seen a theatrical adaptation of The Woman in Black live on stage in the theatre a few years ago now, and that was actually pretty good too. I'm not going to review it. My memory's not that good, it doesn't go that far back, but I remember enjoying it and it was very, very good. So if you ever get a chance to catch The Woman in Black on stage or in theatre, I would advise you do so. Just an update folks, I'll be sure to edit this in. I did indeed order the book. Here it is. Anyway folks, that is all we've got time for in this particular episode. Please do let me know what your thoughts are on The Woman in Black, and until next time, I don't know who they are, but if you don't subscribe, they will get you. So make sure you are indeed subscribed. Click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new video here on Monster Gab. Like the video if you did indeed like it, and share this with your friends. Thank you so much for stopping by. Take care. See you soon. Bye bye.